Hey, Nick.
Hello.
Hey
Hey.
Nick, what's up?
How are you?
We're all doing well over here. How are you?
Good, good. Can you hear me all
Yeah,
clear?
we can hear you.
Yeah, we're good, man.
Good.
So everyone, this is Nick. We've got Nick Nick S from Love Games Season 3. So Nick, we'll just quickly introduce. My name's Darcy Daniel, journalist. We've got Bad Girls Positive T, and then we also have Robbie, who I think just dipped out real quick. But yeah,
Yeah,
so we're glad to have you on here. We wanted to dig into some of the tea.
I literally have not talked about this since the day I left this house. So this is actually the first interview. This is the first time I've actually publicly talked about it. I like locked this away as soon as I left the house. So this is going to be very interesting.
Right.
So I guess let's start off. Like, how did you audition? What was the audition process? Did you know who the girls were going to be, or, just walk us through that?
Okay. So at the time, I was actually working for the government. I actually lived in Washington, D.C. And, I was working for the Department of State. And that's like, at the time, I think that's when Hillary Clinton was the Secretary of State. So long story short, I hated my job. I worked for the government. I made great money. My buddy was like, I had a day off randomly on like a Wednesday. He's like, hey man, they're casting for The Real World at this bar in DC. I think you should just go to see what happens. And so I went. And so the original plan was to go on The Real World.
Yeah.
So they ended up not choosing me for The Real World, but the producers hit me up. They were like, hey, would you be interested in possibly being on the show we have called Love Games? And they explained the show to me, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'm down. And that day I could not have predicted that out of all those people that went to audition that day, that it would be me that would get selected to be on TV. So it was crazy.
Did they do an open casting call? Like, so you are like an open casting, or?
It was an open casting at a bar, and there were so many people there, hundreds of people in this line. And I'm not gonna lie, like I had moments, because it was actually raining that day. I had moments where I was gonna leave the line. I was like, I'm done. I'm not doing this. This is crazy. There's no way that they're gonna pick me. But I stayed in line, and yeah, they asked me to come back for a second day. Came back the second day, and then I think like a month went by, and I thought I didn't get anything, and then they told me that I got selected for the show. And I was down. I really didn't. I don't even think I've ever saw Love Games to that point. So it was my first time like hearing about the show and the premise of the show. I'd seen Bad Girls Club before, but the most nerve-wracking part for me is that we had no idea who the girls were. Like they kept us completely in the dark.
Yeah, I feel you. But yeah, wow, like that's like, I mean, I'm happy you got, picked to be on a show, but like just like you said, like you wouldn't have, predicted that you would have been chosen. But out of the girls that were casted, like, do you feel like producers did a good job casting Judy, Sydney, and Kori for Love Games? Like if you don't think they did a good job at casting, which bad girls from other seasons would you have liked to see on Love?
I mean, honestly, I think I mean, I'm not trying to be biased. I think our season was one of the best seasons. So
Agreed.
I can't really go back on their decision making. I really favored all the girls. Honestly, me personally, if I ended up with any three of those girls, I would be happy. So I wasn't like,
Even Judy.
I wasn't like
come on now.
disappointed either way.
Judy.
Yeah.
So that crazy ass. Come on now.
Yeah, I would be down, man. I like crazy girls. That's my problem. That's why they picked me.
She's like,
because like they do research for the guys that are on the show, and they have to know that you're down for bad girls. Up
So
to that point,
did you do a psych evaluation and all of that? Like filled out a pamphlet, like that big of paperwork?
oh wow,
so much paperwork.
Yeah, they
So
want to
much
know all
paperwork.
of your exes, like your exes' exes, all of that, right?
All of that. They
Yeah.
call friends of friends, and then they'll ask them if they know anybody else that would have information on you. So sometimes they could get to someone that you really don't want them to talk to.
Yeah.
And I think they had mentioned that they heard, all right, so quick story. I got hit by my ex-girlfriend in college in a car. And they were like, wait a minute, your ex ran you over with a car? I was like, yeah, we got into an argument and I got out and she ran me over. And they were like, you really are about this bad girl's life, right? I was like, I think so. Yeah.
So, okay, so you get cast, and so what happens from there? What, like, where were you living? Where did they fly you out? How long were you in a hotel?
At the time, I was living in Washington, D.C.
Right.
And then, yeah, they flew us all out, a day before to Van Nuys in California, L.A. And we just had to stay in the hotel room just for a full day. And then the next day, they were like, okay, the limo's coming. Get your bags, come outside, and get in the limo. And then the limo took us to this old club in LA called Avalon. We didn't go straight to the house. We actually went to a nightclub where that first scene took place, where Judy ripped my shirt.
Which we want to know all about, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you. But yeah, so the first person I met was Mike, the ultimate bro.
Yes.
And we got fucking hammered in this limo. I mean, I can't tell you how drunk we were before we even got to the nightclub. We were just hammered. And we got into the nightclub, and that's when we met all the girls. We met Judy, Kori, all them. And that was like the first brief introduction. So yeah, Judy ripping my shirt, man. I was just talking shit. I'm an instigator. There is a little bit of me that back then, especially when I was younger and I get a little bit drunk, I don't know, man. I talk a lot of shit. And I think I talked shit to the wrong person that day. And and Judy, yeah, she reacted.
Was that like 100% Judy, or do you feel like that was like pushed by production, or?
I don't know, man. At first, I was like, oh, man, maybe I didn't. First, she started walking towards me. I thought maybe she was like gonna just get in my face or whatever. And then when she grabbed my shirt, she ripped it. I was like, okay. And then she just walked away. I was like, all right, whatever. I just went with it.
Because I mean, from a viewer standpoint, it looked almost kind of forced. Like either that shirt was really thin, or Judy had a lot of liquid strength going on that day.
Well, it was a very cheap shirt. It was from H&M.
Oh yeah.
So wasn't the best of quality.
So
but yeah, man, she ripped my shirt. She came over and ripped my shirt. Was she trying to turn up a little bit? Maybe was she like looking to stir it up a little bit more for the cameras? Maybe.
Because she came there directly from filming Bad Girls Club 7.
Oh wow.
So she did not even get a break from filming. Like when they wrapped her season, they offered it to her. She had a week off and she went to the house. So she was
had no idea.
Yeah, like so when she filmed her reunion, she actually was filming the show with you guys.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had no idea.
So you get into the club. What are your first impressions of like all the ladies? Like, were you vibing anybody specifically? Like, how was it? Like seeing all the cameras. Like, what's your vibe experience?
Man, I first got in there. I think where my focus was Sydney. I was like, man,
yeah,
the tattoos, the hair. Ideally, like that's my type, but I was like, okay, like the girls are not so bad. I was actually really scared that the girls were just gonna be like not what I wanted at all. So that's what I was really scared of. But once I got there, I saw the girls were okay. I was like, I'll probably hook up with all three of these girls. That's fine. And then the guys, gauging the guys out because, who like my competition. And I think off the jump, I never expected Matt to win. Like that was not the person I thought was gonna win out of all the guys that was in the room. I probably thought that guy Nick was gonna win. I was like, out of all the guys in there, I was like, I can see that guy Nick probably being like the most competition for me.
So how was it when like you vibed Sydney, but what was it like when you got there? Were you kind of like culture shocked seeing all the cameras and the setup everywhere? Like, Were you uncomfortable? Did you feel like you had to kind of turn up, or?
Yeah. I quickly had to learn that, you know, when those microphones are on, they literally can take everything at every moment. You have to sign, you know, all these papers about, pretty much you wear these microphones the whole time, and you forget, you know, because you're walking around and, you know, you're talking shit about people. You'll be like, I was talking to my man, I fucking hate that. Look at that dumbass motherfucker. Like, you're just talking all kinds of shit. And then you forget, like, wait a minute, I'm wearing a microphone. I wonder if they're going to, like, record that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was interesting. Production does kind of instigate a little bit, like, turning up. Because the first night we were there, I remember, like, they just had so much alcohol available for us.
Mm-hmm.
But then the next day, they completely took it all away. Like, not a drop in the house. And I thought that was very bizarre. We all woke up hungover, but, like, still kind of in party mode, looking for, like, any alcohol. They literally took everything out of the house.
I would have fucking Ubered that shit, man.
Yeah, they have their moments where they want you to turn up, but then they have their moments where they want you to be serious.
Yeah. You know how producers give, like, each of the guys their nickname? You know how, like, your nickname was Mr. Keeping It Real? How did you feel about that nickname? You think it suits you, like, it suited you perfectly? Because in my opinion, I feel like it suited you perfectly because, you know, you're very authentic and you're all about, you know, keeping it real.
Yeah, man, they picked that name. I don't know. I guess that's who I was. That's the energy I put out in the show. But that was their decision.
Did they tell you that they were going to label it that? Because, like, it wasn't like I Love New York or Flavor of Love where they did, like, a naming ceremony, which I respected because, like, you guys don't need to have fake names. You're real people, right? So, did they tell you that, like, was that supposed to be, like, your name? Do you know what I mean? No.
I didn't find out until the show actually aired or until they started coming out with, like, the promo for, like, the videos and stuff and the pictures. I had no idea what that was their name for me.
So before we move forward with the juicier stuff that we're going to get into, how long were you actually in the house for?
Man, I was in the house for fucking 2 days, bro. I was so mad. I was so pissed, bro. Like, that house was so dope. And I was like, man, if I can just survive long enough to just enjoy this experience, enjoy the pool, this beautiful view in the Pacific Palisades.
Yeah.
I was in that damn house for 2 days, man. And I started off so strong. You know, I had dates with a couple of the girls, and it was that one little thing, that one little slip up ended up biting me in my ass. And I almost didn't believe it. When I got eliminated, I was like, you guys are joking, right? Like, no, this is like, they're going to bring me back. And then when I finally got to the airport, I was like, I guess I'm not coming back.
Yeah. Because, like, I don't know if you ever found out about this, but Joey from your season, like, once he got eliminated, producers called him back for Love Game Season 4, and he returned back for Love Game Season 4, and Joey ended up winning Love Game Season 4 with Amy from Season 8 Las Vegas. Same with Taylor. Taylor was he was on Taylor from Season 2 of Love Games. He got eliminated, but producers called him back for Season 4 of Love Games. So yeah, I would have thought that they would have called you back, but I guess they were looking for more, like, you know, more of a cast member that was, like, messy, and, like, you know, Joey and Taylor, like, kept up the drama mostly.
Well, better yet, did they ever call you for any other projects?
Nope, that was it.
Really?
That was pretty much it.
One and done, pretty much.
One and done.
Did
you? One and done, man.
House?
I ended up going. I redeemed myself later in some later years. Like, I think like 2 years or a year and a half later, there was this old show called Excused, which was a dating show. And it's like when they have like 5 guys and there's 2 girls, and then somehow it ends up with like 2 people. Anyway, so I redeemed myself. I came back and I won, and I was like, all right, now I can walk away from this, like, all this dating show stuff for the rest of my life.
What network was this on?
I believe it was Fox 45 back in the day, or WB. Okay. You can look it up. It's called Excused.
All right, guys, we're gonna look that up. And
yeah.
Right.
Yeah. If I can track down a clip, I think I have a clip of myself on there. I'll send it to you.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Okay, so you went on a date with Kori, right? And then, so the question of, like, that everybody's been asking is, did producers tell you to tell Sydney what Kori told you about her?
No, not at all.
On your own, right?
Oh,
No. And honestly, I really did not think she was going to react like that. And hindsight 2020, it's like, of course she was going to act like that. She's in the bad girls club.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was just, man, I was on this date with Kori. All right, I'll tell you how it all started.
Please do.
yeah.
I was talking to Sydney, and we were having a conversation, and she was just like talking so highly of Kori. She's like, I love Kori so much. She's so genuine. She's like my realest friend. I love this girl so much, and all this other stuff, and just had nothing but positive things to say about Kori. But then when I went on my first date with Kori, it was like she was just talking mad shit about Sydney. She was like, oh, she's fat. She's ugly. She thinks I'm friends with her. I'm just using her, blah, blah, blah. All this other stuff. And I was like, man, that's crazy. Like, I think it was just a thing where, like, I don't think anybody should walk through a situation believing that someone is really their friend, and then they end up looking like a fool because that's not the case at all. Right. I could have kept it quiet, but I'm like, I don't want her to look stupid on national television. Like, like this girl is clearly talking so much shit about her, and then this girl's showing nothing but love. I'm like, nah, I'm gonna bring it to light. I'm gonna tell her what was up and what was said. Did I know that was gonna cause? I didn't think she was gonna fight though. I thought maybe it would have led to like maybe like a verbal confrontation or something like that.
Yeah.
I remember when the fight was going down, man.
Tell us it all. Spill the tea.
Oh my God, that fight was fucking crazy.
Was there more than what aired?
Huh?
Was there more than what aired? Or did they air like everything that happened?
They pretty much aired everything that happened. Actually, Kori wanted to go home after that fight. She was like kind of done after that fight, and she wanted to leave the house. And she needed the producer to come over and actually talk her into staying. But yeah, that was the fight, man. And like, I was in my room when it happened, and I remember when I actually saw the fight, like when the episode aired, and I did not know it was going to be that savage. It was crazy.
And who do you think won?
I mean,
that guy.
I'll just say this. I did not know that. I didn't expect Kori to be able to throw down like that, and you should never judge a book by its cover.
She has some hands.
She does.
This blonde white girl from Scottsdale is definitely not nothing to fuck with.
So after that, because a lot of people say that you were kind of responsible for causing that fight, how did the house shift? Do you feel like everybody kind of like looked at you like you caused it? Do you feel like that's why you were up for elimination? Like
1000%. That's exactly. Kori was so fucking her. After that happened, Kori's sole mission was to get me out of the house. The whole energy changed because I was actually on a date with her, and there was some type of vibe, some type of connection. And then as soon as that happened, I remember she was like, I want this guy out of here. And that's what happened, man. They sent me home.
That's freaking nuts.
Yeah. That was like unfortunate because it's like we all like talk to each other about how like we wish you would have like stayed, like, like out of order, guys. Like it sucks that, you had to get sent home first because like you were like one of our favorites, even though like your stay was very short, whatever.
And you were being really genuine too. I feel like you were being really genuine with like what you were saying right now. You were trying to let Sydney know to avoid her looking in front of national TV.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you, like, after the show wrapped up, like after you were eliminated, did you keep in touch with any of the guys? Because I know you probably speak to Edson, right? Still, like.
Yeah. I think out of all the guys I still keep in touch with, I do talk to, on Instagram and stuff, but Edson, Mike, that's pretty much it, man. Edson
you
and
talk
Mike.
To any of the girls?
Yo, so crazy enough, I was actually kind of cordial with Kori for a while, and so we would message back and forth and stuff, and yeah, we kind of disconnected, but yeah, it was interesting that was the girl that I kept talking to, and this was like years after the show, whatever. She like had a kid and like obviously changed her life around and her personality, but yeah, we shared some messages back and forth.
So we kind of skipped over one question. How was your experience with Tanisha?
Right.
I don't think she liked me very much, to be honest.
I don't think she likes a lot of people.
I don't think she liked me. Like, yeah. You know when you can just feel when someone just like, they don't favor you.
They don't fuck with you. Yeah.
You could, and I don't know, every time I was around her, or like we came across paths, I just felt like she just did not like me. So, yeah.
Did she stay in the house with everyone?
No. She was someone that had to like come to set every day.
Did the girls actually fully stay in the house with you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, the girls did fully stay in the house with us.
So now I'm gonna ask a little bit of a a hot topic question. Which one of the girls was hooking up with people right off the bat? Like, was it just instantaneous? They were hooking up?
No, not when I was there.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't there long enough to actually see any of that go down.
Another question we have is like, were you? Because like, I am a big fan of season 3, but sometimes I forget. Like, were you there? Like, were you still in the house when Nick and Mike had like the bathroom incident when they like went in the bathroom?
Yes.
No, I was gone. And when I heard about that, I was so shocked. Wait, you said it was Nick and Mike?
No, what's his name? Chris and Mike.
Chris and Mike.
Yeah.
All right, so what happened with that, man? I still don't know like the true story about that. I was gone, and I remember when I heard it happen, I was so shocked.
So from what producers chose to show us, basically, what's his name? Chris and Mike were speaking, and then I don't know, for some reason, Mike was, I don't know, doing what Chris was doing. It was vice versa.
They were naked in the hallway,
naked.
and then they went into the bathroom together and locked the door for a while.
Oh gosh! You know what?
and everyone's saying
I
that
will
they
say
were
this.
hooking up. So
I will say this. From what I remember, now that it's starting to come back, they were like really comfortable with their nudity, like on the first day. I remember, like, we got in the house, we put our bags in. They took their fucking pants off. They literally just took their pants off. They were walking around. There was a bunch of guys at this point. There was no girls anywhere. And I remember I was like, that's weird. Why are they walking around a bunch of like, oh, it's just us? It's like the girls are on the other side of the house. Mike was naked and Chris just walking around the house naked, and I was just like,
yeah,
okay, they're just really comfortable with their nudity or whatever. But I didn't expect what happened to happen with those two. I didn't think that would happen. That's crazy.
do you think that it actually happened, or do you think it's just something that producers pushed for a storyline?
I think they pushed for a storyline, maybe.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Because Mike, Chris, even explained in one of his eliminations, like, when he was in an elimination room in one of the episodes, that same night, him and Mike went to the bathroom. He was up for elimination. Chris was, and then Chris was like, "Oh, that's just how I am. Like, I was born, like, I grew up like being naked, and I just been like, So he explained that it was not meant by it, but yeah.
So some people are just really comfortable with their bodies and their sexuality. So no harm, no foul.
Right.
That's them. That's how they live. More power to them.
It just wasn't a shot at love with Tila Tequila, so maybe pick a different reality show. You know what I mean? So, okay, you're eliminated now, and how does that process start to go for you?
I was devastated, man. I was like, I cannot believe, like, I got all the way out there, got to this beautiful house in California just to get eliminated after 2 nights. And I firmly believe that I could have gone really far in the show. I really do. If that situation, if that incident never happened, I think that I would have went really far in the show for sure.
Yeah. But
But do
like
you,
I feel like, and a part of me feels like if that never happened, because you know the BGC fans only tune in for drama. Like they tune in for all the wrong reasons. But I wouldn't say wrong reasons because that like the fight with Sydney and Corey, that's what made the season most entertaining. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
like, in a way, like you are to thank for that because if it wasn't for you, that fight would have never really happened. But like, yeah, I do agree. Like. I do agree.
Producer
I
should have
feel like you
kept you
should have
for
just
sure.
like. I
yeah,
feel like you could have like maybe kept it to yourself because it's like you did all that for Sydney. You didn't have to go back and tell Sydney what Corey said about her, but you did all that for Sydney just for Sydney to not keep you there. So it's just like damn, like Sydney, like. But I get she like John more. So.
Were you allowed to smoke weed at the house? Because just a quick backstory is like there's rumors, it's alleged. Like we would love to interview Sydney ourselves and talk to her, but the rumors had it that she left her season because she couldn't smoke weed on set, so that's why she took off. So were you guys like for the 2 days you were there, were people like able to like smoke blunts when they weren't on camera? Were you guys on camera all the time as well?
No, we weren't all on camera. There was just camera guys randomly walking throughout the house, and yeah, for sure, people were smoking weed in the house. Um, just being sneaky, just finding little areas to sneak off or behind somewhere, or like, and just smoking, man.
well,
You know, and I'm sure, and they might have been doing more stuff.
Oh,
It might not have just been
weird.
weed either.
Yeah.
Oh, do we know?
This is LA, man. People party here. I mean, there's something about the energy of Hollywood. When people get here, they just want to turn up, you know? So for sure, I'm very confident that there was a lot of like weed smoking and probably some drug usage too.
Yeah. So
Okay.
like Nick, what's current for you? Like, do you have any like new projects coming out or something? Like any?
Yeah, man. So I got into acting, and that's a big reason why I kind of kept this very hush hush, low key after I got off the show. Because I got into acting and like I got signed with a commercial agency out here, doing just like different like commercial projects, and I got into film acting, and I just wrote my first TV series pilot that I'm hoping to pitch to one of the major networks. It's called Club Kings, and it's basically about the underground rave scene here in LA back in 2020 when everything shut down here. There was just a group of people that wanted to take over the black market club scene and still make money, and they did it. And it was like it's kind of the story of the rise and the fall of that.
I would watch it.
Oh,
Thank
cool.
you.
Do you have any like words of advice or like positive words of wisdom, for like people or like BGC fans who like go through bullying and whatnot?
Did you say BGC fans that were bullied?
Like yeah, BGC because some BGT fans actually like go through bullying and just like people in general. So like any advice or like words of wisdom for them, like on like how to stay strong through that and stuff. Like
Oh, yeah. Anytime someone shoots negativity towards you, it's always a reflection of themselves. Whenever someone is trying to bully you or talk negatively towards you or be disrespectful, the way that I always perceive it is that person is very inherently unhappy in their own lives. And then I start to feel bad for them. I'm like, man, this person is so miserable that they have to take time out of their day to be negative and disrespectful towards someone. I don't feel like that. I'm happy, you know? And the art of walking away and just like, man, because like we're in the era where people that are being bullied are getting pushed to be violent as a means to defend themselves, and in turn just getting in a lot of trouble, out of retaliation. So I always have to say, like, don't engage yourself in a moment that takes 1 minute that can take years away from your life.
Right.
Less.
I do have a do you think like with the situation with Sydney, okay, obviously like right now, would you still like if you were to have a conversation with her right now, would you explain to her why you told her that? And like would you have explained to her like hey, look, I wish you wouldn't have reacted so badly. Maybe we could have played this game off. Maybe played the game a little bit better. Like, do you think she would have listened or understood you?
I mean, in that moment, at that time, probably not. You know, people have pride. And then you got to remember, you know, when the cameras are watching, it's like nobody wants to allow themselves to get disrespected like that.
Mm-mm.
And for the whole world to see. So I felt, part of her felt like she just had to protect her reputation, you know? Like she had someone that was clearly talking ill about her and she reacted.
Well, she was a fight on herself, though. I just think she wasn't thinking strategically. Pride is one thing, but thinking strategically is a whole different other thing, especially in like a situation like that.
Like a
Yes.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, for sure. For sure.
So, okay.
Yeah.
If you could like say a few words, good, bad, indifferent, whatever you want to say, about the next couple people, like, so whatever you want to say, I'll just name a few names. So we'll start off with Sydney.
Oh, Sydney. I'm just gonna say, from what I know about her, because I didn't get to know her that well, I'll say she's very sweet.
Okay. We're going to leave it at that?
Yes.
Okay. Judy.
Crazy. That girl is crazy. She's like a real fucking crazy TV personality. I think out of every girl on the show, she was the one that was like, that's who it was made for, to be like that image and that persona and be the face of Bad Girls Club.
Do you think that she was genuinely that person, or do you think it was like super, she was drunk and like kind of pushed by the production crew? Like, do you think they saw a puppet that was easily able to like, you know?
Yeah, man, this is entertainment, you know? So there's a part of you that has to be like that. Whether you want to or not, you do have to be entertaining for the cameras. You do have to be extra sometimes in some moments. Actually, out of all the girls, Judy was actually like the sweetest. I think she was the least confrontational out of all the girls. And I think Kori was like the one that was like kind of like legitimately kind of psychotic. That girl that you just don't want to fuck with, like a bad girl for real. Judy was just sweet, and I think she was really funny, and like she spoke her mind, but not in a way where she wanted like any physical confrontation to happen.
Yeah.
Where it's like Kori.
Yeah, that brings us to Kori.
Kori is coming for that ass. Like if she has to raise her voice to you, it means that you might have to start putting your fist up and get ready.
Yeah. Okay. And
but
Tanisha?
Also, Kori had something to felt like she had something to prove. She wanted to prove something. I don't think that was. I don't feel like she needed to prove anything in that situation or in that show. I
just feel like Kori was the toughest girl out of the group of them. So when the girls were trying to like Tarzan the moment, she was like, "Okay, no, we're not going to do that."
Yeah.
You know. Okay. So what about Tanisha? I know we kind of briefly talked about her, but was there anything else you wanted to add about her?
I don't got nothing to say about her. Like I said, I I told you the energy she was giving to me, and then I'm the type of person, I reciprocate energy that people give me. So if you don't fucking like me, guess what? I don't fucking like you either. You know? And that's how it is.
Yeah.
Were there ever any talks of a reunion for the show?
No. I believe there was like there was a Love Games 4, right?
Yeah, there was a Love Game 4, but they didn't have a reunion for that one either. Like none of the seasons ever had a reunion.
That was the last Love Games.
Yeah,
I believe.
The last one, unfortunately.
Do you think if there was a reunion, you would have like tried to like? Obviously, I keep on bringing up explanation. Do you think you would have brought that situation up or whatever and explained your side of everything? And do you think one of the other guys would have had a problem with you because of it?
I would have did everything the same. I would have said, I would go on a reunion. But I would tell you everything I just told you right now. I know I can't go back. I'm just that's not my personality. Like, First of all, I'm a Sagittarius. I don't know if you know anything about Zodiac, but we are very fucking blunt. And I cannot, when people have this skill to like keep it in, like, oh, like, I'm just not going to say anything. I cannot. I physically cannot. If it's on my mind and it's on my heart, it's coming out of my mouth. I don't care who's offended. I don't care who's getting upset. That's just how I am. It's always been how I've been that way since I've been a kid.
Yeah. One last question we have is like, I remember you said that you did watch Bad Girls Club before doing Love Games. Which seasons of Bad Girls Club did you watch before doing Love Games, or like you only watch clips of it? Like,
And did you have any hopes of girls that you wanted to be there?
or like, did
Yes.
you have any favorite girls?
Yes. There was this. Oh my God, what was her name? She had like long black dark hair. She looked like Cuban. I think she was from Miami or something.
Wait,
I can't remember
Leah?
her name.
Wait, no,
But
not Leah.
whatever season she was on, that was I was like, God, why couldn't they bring her on the show? But
Morgan? Morgan?
yeah, I can't remember her name though.
She was on the Miami season, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, Katya or Kat.
No,
she
Morgan.
was fucking hot.
Oh, he was talking about Morgan. Like, she looked kind of Cuban, but was from Miami too. Yeah, Morgan, I think.
Yeah,
The one who was dating Philip Klein.
What's that?
she was awesome.
The one who dated Philip Klein and was on that like Miami Monkey show with Big Ange. That one.
Possibly. I would have to see a picture, but that's the season I liked. Also, I feel like I did watch Judy's season though, but I did not think they were gonna choose her to be on the show
They probably
because she was in New Orleans. She was in New Orleans, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So that was a pretty good season.
She lived out there too, I think. So did you agree with who won the season?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like, because they ended up dating like real life for about a year and a bit afterwards.
Yeah. I thought it was very ironic that probably the nicest guy in the house ended up winning. Matt, he had such a nice and calm and sweet demeanor in person. And, very opposite of a lot of the like bravado, kind of alpha male complex guys in the house that were kind of crazy. He was kind of reserved and laid back and nice and like soft spoken. So I thought that was like, that's how it is, man. Like opposites attract, right? The most wild girl is gonna like probably the opposite of that.
Yeah.
So speaking of winning, and I'm curious because I think a lot of people think you go on to reality TV and you make like hella money, right? Which I think is a big misconception. If you don't mind sharing, what were you paid, and what was the actual winning prize? Was it only a trip? Like, can we talk about it?
I think you win love.
Love.
Yeah.
You win love and a nice trip. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what you win. But yeah, we got paid for being out there. We got paid. I believe it was. Yeah, we got paid a decent amount per day.
Because like Backroll's only got like $500 a week.
500 a week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess the longer you stuck around, the more money you made.
Yeah.
So.
Because I know that Love Games got paid a lot more than actual like Bad Girls Club, because one of the Bad Girls spilled tea about that. Because Love Games only films for 3 weeks, I believe, so that's like crazy to me. But like, I guess because it's a dating show, so the producers want to make the girls and guys feel more like special, which is why Love Games gets paid more.
Did you watch the rest of the season after you like left?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Are there any challenges on there that you wish you were there for that you could have like been involved with?
Not really. I mean, no.
Fuck it.
No. I mean, the honestly, I gotta say, I think that the episode I was on was the best episode.
Yeah.
Do you think
it just got a little boring after I left. Like, just like there was, I don't know.
I feel like season 3 was a bit of a lackluster season out of most of them. What do you guys think? Did you watch the other seasons after? Like, I'm assuming it's been so many years, so you probably watched the other ones just to see what the other people's experience was, right? Like,
Yeah, I watched season 2.
and what do you think about those girls? Because I think Leah and Natalie are so fine. Like, I'm gay, but like, damn, those girls are so
Yeah,
pretty. Would you have
yeah,
preferred to be on
they had
that
a good
season?
they had a good group of girls on that season. I actually, you know who I ended up running into a lot after that happened is Benz. You remember Benz Veal?
Oh my gosh, yeah, Ben. He almost won, but
So he also was like doing the whole acting, commercial modeling thing. And we
Yeah, I've
would be in
seen
the
his
same
work.
auditions a lot of times. I mean, I saw this guy probably like at 6 auditions in New York and LA.
Yeah.
And finally I was like, hey man, I remember we were in the room. I think it was like for some fitness commercial. I was like, hey, I think we were both on Love Games. He was like, oh yeah, cool, bro.
He's like, don't talk to me. I have to go to the other side of the room now.
Yeah, like a lot of people just tried to like put it behind them.
Yeah. So you don't talk to any of the girls, though, to clarify, right?
No, I talked to
No.
Kori for a little bit, but I don't talk to her anymore.
Is there any other, like, behind the scenes tea that you wanted to spill with us before we wrap this up?
Oh yeah. For anybody that's thinking about going on a reality show, you have to remember that you sign a waiver to basically grant them to use any type of footage, any type of sound bites, anything they record, and they can pretty much manipulate the story however they want. You know, so whenever you're watching reality TV, you're getting like a piece of like the truth, but not always the way it happened, you know? And the way that they edit things, they can edit the footage in a way to try to create a narrative and a story. And always remember that when you watch reality TV.
And if you had anything to say to any of your past cast members, if you wanted to, is there anything you'd want to say? Or are you good?
I guess, man, stay away from bad girls, right? I think that's the lesson that we all learn as men on this season.
Yeah. But it was great doing this interview with you, Nick. Thanks for taking time out of your day to do this with us. We really appreciate it, and yeah, we'll be in touch with you, all right?
All right. Have a good night, guys. Take care.
All right, Nick, stay blessed,
Yeah.
and thanks again. Cheers.
Bye.